I was 13 years old, and I was hanging out with my best friend at the time, Chris Sika, and we were at Pompano Indoor Skate Park. And I remember it was a Saturday, and they had an all-day Battle of the Bands. So we were hanging out there from like morning to nighttime, whatever, and all these great bands were playing. We had like Wings of Azrael were playing, Falling from the Sky. And I remember we were driving home, or his mom was taking us home, and we were listening to Yellow Card, like Ocean Avenue. And we were talking to each other. We're like, yo, why don't we just make a band? And the next day he bought a bass, and I don't know, that weekend I ended up buying a drum set.
The first show they actually did that he played live was, he was 14. And I'm thinking, when you think, you look up. Trying to remember it. Yeah, it was up actually in Palm Beach on what they call Clematis. And it was a rundown, beat down, nasty little site. Loaded up all the equipment into the van, and along with about 4 other cars. It was the first show they ever played. The bassist was a guy by the name of Steve, and then who was the lead guitarist? I think Chris was playing lead guitars. We all schlepped up there, got there, pulled out all the stuff, where everybody was just nervous. They'd never played a show publicly before.
Well, when I first started playing in a band, it was alive and well, I guess. Pop punk mostly. There was like a more hardcore punk too, but they got together. There's actually a good ska scene at the time too, and I missed that a lot. But in the early days, it was good. It was fun. A lot of the bands, we were all pretty close. We hung out. Radio Wayside came from a band called In All Honesty, actually, and that was the band that I formed after I quit and or got kicked out of All Positions, or a 5-star tragedy. I don't know, it's very confusing. Nobody knows how it happened or what happened. But yeah, Radio Wayside was myself, Mike Small on guitar, Stefano was our bassist, Stephanie Laverty was our singer. We our music style, it was different from All Positions. It wasn't so much pop punk, it was more of this classic rock kind of feel to it, like a Zeppelin kind of feel. A lot of solos, a lot of Mike Small 4-minute solos with his shirt off, because that's how Mike drills. I like, and yeah, I don't know. It was a fun band, a really talented band actually.
Everybody would meet here before a show, and because I had the band, and usually everybody practiced here because Josh was the drummer, and I had the soundboard and all the mics and the PA system, so everybody would practice here. Well, day of a show, I'd usually take off work early, come home. They would practice and warm up, and then about an hour to 20 minutes before, we'd start tearing down, and we had this procession out to the van, taking the various pieces of equipment out, because the drum had to be put in a certain order so I could get the amps and the guitars and everything else in the minivan. So it took about an hour and a half to, before the show, and then about 20-30 minutes to get everything loaded up and make sure that everything was labeled, because a lot of the shows you played, and there are a number of bands following you right after that, and you had less than 5 minutes sometimes to get your equipment off, and you wanted to make sure you ended up with the same equipment you came with.
Well, I got better as a drummer and stuff, so I was able to, match the skill level of the other musicians in the group, which is what I struggled with earlier. Honestly, I would say there weren't so many struggles on stage as there were off. I mean, the distractions that come with, actually having some small level of, I guess, I don't want to use the word fame, but recognition in the local scene. I mean, not to sound cliche, but girls can be pretty distracting when you're in a band, and a lot of drinking, a lot of partying and stuff. My bandmates are pretty crazy. So. All my bands, we all made little CDs and stuff, and I don't actually think we sold them, so they don't count as merch. We just gave them out because people wouldn't buy it. Come on, let's not kid ourselves here. But no, actually, All Positions, we made shirts, and we actually sold shirts at our shows, and people actually bought our shirts, which is crazy. But yeah. You know, I always enjoy, I always really like trying new things. And, I don't know, I don't know, I've done, you know, so much pop punk in my time, I've done all that, and, I don't know, I'm really down to experiment with whatever, like, new genres of music, always fun. I was thinking, like, a death metal polka band actually is in the works, but I can't say too much on that.
Special sauce, 90 cheese.